Why are my lungs like this, though, honestly?
It's because you're getting ready.
It's because
We
we're
love
getting ready.
biology.
We absolutely do. Biochemical warfare is a drag name. It's not, but what if it was?
You love your drag
It could
names.
be.
I do. Oh my god, when Terry and Darren and I recorded a couple days ago, um, for some reason we started talking about fennec foxes, and then we were thinking like, what if there's like a fennec fox that like they just keep marrying and marrying and marrying because they keep killing their like husbands. so so then we started calling him Femme Fatale, and it just made me die so hard.
Is that your drag name?
No, but I think I want to tell Rhythm. That should be his drag name or his like dancer name.
That'd be a sick like dancer name.
I think so, yeah. Because he wears the boots and shit too. Like it would totally work. Welcome back to PawsCast. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Doon the Fox, and what do Doon and grapes have in common? Low-hanging fruit. And I'm here with a couple of people who also like fruits. Hi, Pug.
I prefer apples.
Ah. You and some other people that
That's
I
a
know.
fruit.
And we're also here with Dar. Hi, Dar.
Hi.
Welcome, welcome. This is your first time on the podcast.
Yes, it is. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I am super excited both of you are here, actually, for this episode in particular. So today, friends, we will be talking about the very gay, very illustrious world of musical theater. Wow. Do you guys like musical theater?
Who doesn't like musical theater?
The gay people that are afraid to be gay.
Well, they're just too scared, but that's for a different episode.
That is for a different episode. We'll talk about that more in the next one. So, yeah, musical theater, which is, I don't know. In my head, musical theater has always just been like, okay, take Shakespeare, make it super, super, super gay, but then like pull on everybody's heartstrings and tell a cool story.
I mean,
You know?
well, Shakespeare, I feel like is pretty gay anyways.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, theater used to be just all men, so like,
Oh, yeah.
it's always been gay.
That's absolutely true.
Shakespeare was probably a closeted gay.
I think he was a very committed bisexual, maybe. You know?
Maybe. I've actually never seen Shakespeare perform, like a Shakespeare play performed.
Interesting. Interesting. So, we should talk about what musical theater is. And to start off kind of on the personal side of that question, in your guys' hearts, how do you define musical theater?
Who's going first?
I'll let Pug go first.
Wow. Why you gotta make me go first? I don't even have time to think about anything.
Oh god, they're squabbling over me.
I'm like, musical theater. They get on stage, they sing, they dance. There you go.
Love that. Amazing. So, you would say that American Idol is musical theater?
There's gotta have some kind of connecting plot. I don't think like just a random song by itself is musical theater.
Sure. So we would say there's like a script and some kind of writing then as well.
I mean, I feel like you could probably have musical theater that's also improv, so I wouldn't even say you necessarily need a script.
You know, you're so right. There are some corners of the YouTube internet space where they do fully improvised musical theater.
I would just say it needs to have, I guess, music and some kind of story, not just the song.
So singing,
That's
dancing, musical numbers, but also an overarching story.
yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah. I like it. Dar, what do you think?
Well, I think that you're pretty right on the money. Like, musical theater, like, is a bit. You have to. It conveys like events by like the music is like continuously like you're either looking inside like a character, like what they're feeling or like what they're doing. It's moving the plot. I mean, some songs necessarily don't, but like you're getting some type of insight. There's something that's moving the story. But I think it's like it's events, actions, and thoughts, and it just helps progress. It just keeps the show going.
Yeah, I really like that. Like, so the it to kind of say it in different words. You obviously have somebody who's writing a play potentially, right? Unless it's improvised. But in that context, you can have a plot device, which is music and singing, that moves along the story so that you're not just limited to like dialogue and action and things like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's really good. We're sort of touching on this already, but part of what we're throwing out there in the air is things that belong to theater, like dialogue and action and telling the story that way, whereas musical theater, the added mechanic of telling the story is song and dance. So, other than the obvious, what do you think are some differences between musical theater and other theater?
I mean, like the big thing is there's music,
Yeah.
but that's pretty obvious. I mean,
Well, like
I don't really know like what I guess else like how else you would differentiate it other than like one has music, one doesn't, because you have Broadway shows that are like normal stage plays and then Broadway shows that are musicals, but like I mean, other than the music aspect, it's kind of the same. Like they're using this like sets and actors and it's live and you have a story.
well, like with I feel like the difference is, like I said, like a little bit earlier with like musical theater, like you're the the music. I mean, both of them have music. The the theater, just theater in general, it's a straight play. The music is like meshed together, so like it's assisting with like tones. It's like giving you like it's helping you bring come into the performance, while like musical theater is more, like I said, it's more active, so like it keeps the story going, and like you're getting bits in there instead of just someone blatantly telling you. Like it's a bit more I feel also it's like a little bit different like emotionally too, because like I feel like we get swayed with like music, so like you can portray something like an affair, and like you can watch it in a straight play and like you can feel that, but like listening to someone like sing about it and like break down, like it's I guess it just depends on like what type of like show it is, but like you can do some powerful things with musical theater that might not be a strength in theater, but like theater is like I don't know, the common thing is just they're they're telling stories, but they're basically kind of different, is
Yeah.
basically what I'm coming from.
Yeah. I think you guys touched on all the right points. I also find that let me think about how to word this. Like, the emotions in a stereotypical sense tend to be different between theater and musical theater. I
Mm,
don't know, because I haven't. There are definitely musicals I haven't seen, and there are definitely a wide range, emotionally speaking, of musicals. But the musicals that I've seen, or the ones that I know about, tend to fall into the more dramatically expressive side,
hmm.
whereas theater can be dramatic or it can be a little more subtle,
Hmm.
maybe in terms of the acting.
Hmm.
I might be
It
making
definitely
shit
does
up
well
too.
with like more serious like tone like stories. Like I feel like you can go a little farther deep. Like there was a show that I worked on. and it was about the Holocaust, and it was about the survivors,
Yeah.
and that definitely would not do well as a musical, and like you can't get that same emotion, and like though you could feel like the air in the theater was just getting heavy because
You
Yes.
can
it's like
have
such a
like you can have serious
mm,
musicals though, and like songs
yeah,
can be serious or sad or emotional or whatever.
yeah, but I
I mean,
think
I,
it
I
depends on
think
the story though.
I think that's the great thing about music is like you can convey a wide range of emotion with songs.
Hmm.
You can. I was actually just reminded of because we have animated musicals too, which we that's a big thing we could talk about at some point. But you reminded me, and I'm not gonna fucking remember the name of it now. Um, there is a Disney musical from a long time ago, like probably the '60s, I want to say. It's about a whale that sings opera.
I have no clue what you're referring to.
I'm trying to think.
I'm gonna look up the name of it while I'm talking here because, like, if you haven't seen it, it's totally worth seeing. Um, let's see what the Google machine says. Um, The Whale Who Wanted to Sing at the Met. Originally, Willie the Operatic Whale. Oh, it's from 1946.
I've
Wow,
never heard of that.
I
So,
don't think I've seen that.
um,
I mean, that's way older than all of us.
well, I'm very young, so that it's fine. You know, I literally just turned 25.
I thought you were
Oh my God,
22.
congratulations!
Thank you. Oh. All right. Well, we'll just let that sit then.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You're just such a young fox, though.
Yeah, for the most part.
I don't know how you even know about something so old.
Well, because the men I chase are from that time period, so I know everything about
Of
the
course.
40s and 50s.
They introduce you to the old movies.
Yes, my education has been quite thoroughly enriched by people who are about to go into hospice.
I mean, they got all the experience, so
They do. They know
Yeah,
everything they're doing.
like my
they probably
grandmother
don't.
said, you have to marry someone that's 1 foot in the grave. So
Yeah,
And then you can get that inheritance money,
that is
exactly.
a really good way to live.
which you definitely need it for musicals because I will tell you, it hurts our wallet with how many we've seen recently.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, they're so expensive. Like more than people would think. So, Bryce and I went to see the Book of Mormon last year, and
Hmm.
the we went to the Fisher Theater in Detroit, and the to have second not second story, that's funny, but like we had second floor balcony basically, and
Oh,
we
the
were
mezzanine.
I don't remember the name, probably, but it was off to the side, and we were kind of in the front, but sort of in the middle of it. And it's only like a pocket of like 10 or 20 seats, literally. Like it was tiny. Um, those tickets were about $200 a seat. And I,
Hmm.
I bought them ahead of time. I just don't remember how far in advance.
I was gonna ask you how far, because
It was probably 3 to 4 weeks in
so
advance.
that might not be far enough. Because I got tickets for we went to see the Phantom of the Opera in February,
Hmm.
and I got the tickets for that. I want to say in September, which was right when they like released them for the public to buy.
Yeah.
Um, and I want to say like we got pretty good seats. We were like pretty much front row orchestra, and it was like 170, I think.
Damn.
Um, but I just for funsies, that show was like sold out. People went crazy for it.
Uh
Um,
huh.
just for funsies, I looked to see when we were close, like maybe like a few weeks out from it, and the tickets for like what I got were going for like over $400.
Wow. Yeah, so waiting, not good.
Yeah, you gotta get
Well, it
it like
depends.
as soon as possible if it's a
It depends
popular
on the
show.
show, though. Yeah, because like Book of Mormon's super popular. Obviously, Phantom Opera is popular. When we looked at Hamilton, for funsies to see how
Those
far,
tickets
like
are
that's
crazy
like
too.
those are like 300 for like just the nosebleeds. Like
Yeah,
those are like super popular shows. If it's like something that's not as popular, like you can get them pretty okay. It just depends on what theater that you go to, because some theaters charge a little bit more extra than others.
that definitely is true.
Now, the great thing about if you're in New York City, you can get tickets from the box office on the day of at a discounted price if they're not like many tickets sold, if it's not like selling out already.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because at that point they just try to fill the seats.
Yeah, so you can get rush tickets, is what they call them.
Yeah,
We did that with one musical that we saw in New York City, so it was nice to like save our wallet at least a little bit in that on that one.
yeah. What did you see in NYC?
We saw five total when we went to New York,
Oh my
because
god.
we were just crazy and had nothing better to do while we were there apparently than watch musicals. We saw Death Becomes Her, Maybe
Ooh.
Happy Ending,
Mm-hmm.
Operation Mincemeat, Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York, and Wicked.
Oh, you saw Wicked. You guys suck. That's so good. Did you say two
So
strangers carry a cake across New York City?
Yes,
yes, that one was
What?
actually really good.
it
Um,
was
Okay.
very surprising.
we knew nothing about this musical coming in. It's a new musical, like it came out November of last year.
Wow. Okay.
Um, so we didn't know anything about it, and we just went in blind. That's what we got rush tickets for, because we were just like, it was our last day there, and we were just like, we just want to see something else because we were having such a great time watching musicals.
Mm-hmm.
So we just like picked this as like one of the things that was showing at the like that evening, and got rush tickets, and it was actually really good. It's only two people for the whole musical,
Damn.
and they just were doing the most up on that stage.
And it's a two-person musical. Like that's fucking nuts.
And they don't have a lot of props. Like their props is just suitcases. So like they were very creative with like how they set it up, and it was like on a turntable. So like they're able to like walk, and like the stage was like rotating with them. So
Yes.
like they did like it was great. Like we were very surprised, and like there was a bunch of other people beside us. They were like, I've never heard this, and they just bought tickets. 'Cause it was like $35 that we paid
Right.
for per ticket. And
So
then like everyone was like cracking up listening to it and like watching it. And then like I heard people on beside us just being like, "This is like really fun."
that's awesome.
Yeah, and like I feel like it was just a good musical in general, but like I feel like it was more special for me personally because that was like my first time exploring New York City, and the
Yeah.
musical is essentially about like one person who lives in New York and one person who's visiting New York for the first time.
Hmm.
Like it was like so relatable, like this person who's visiting New York for the first time, because I was like, oh my goodness, this
Hmm.
is me.
You were like suddenly inspired to carry a cake across New York City.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
That's honestly
But yeah,
incredible.
It must be doing good though, because like they're doing a pro shot of it, so it might eventually go to like theaters or like a DVD release,
it was
depending on
also
if they.
it was also nominated for Best Musical for this year's Tony Awards.
Hmm.
That's amazing. Did it have like an orchestra, or how do they do their music?
Um, there
I
was
think there was a
usually,
band in the back.
yeah. There was like I think 5 or 6 people in the back, because usually like shows have live music. There's only I feel like if it's like more community, then like they mostly have like a soundtrack.
Right.
But like something like that, they usually like to have live music because it bounces off. I don't know.
Acoustics are better.
Musicians bounce off with the actors, actors bounce off to the musicians. So like,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool. But yeah, it was like a small one, and they're kind of like in the corner in their own little spot. But like, yeah, it was small crew, small group.
That was a random fox noise. Hee hee. That means it's time to let you know we are on Patreon.
If you like this podcast and want to see more, we have multiple subscription options available. You could even get early access to episodes and access to an exclusive group chat. Whoa! Go to patreon.com/pawsplay to learn more and subscribe today. Thank you so much for supporting furry content online. You're amazing! Back to the show.
What are some of your favorite musicals?
Me and Puck have a list. We have our own individual lists, and we write down what musicals we've seen. We put them in like one to whatever, and then we also put in like this our favorite song from that show.
I love that.
So yeah, it's easy to like kind of like d decide like okay, like we watch it and be like, because we just saw Les Mis like 2 days ago, and so like we just sit there and we're like, okay, we have to think about like where we would put in our list. But right now, my number one of my favorites is maybe Happy Ending, which I was very surprised. Like I knew that it was good. Like my little sister, because it was in I think in Korea, South Korea
Okay.
before, and it's been like a few years. And then it just recently, I think within like a year or two, it came around here into like the United States, and that one is a very cute, very short and sweet show. Like it's very fun. Like the characters are just very. There's only really like essentially there's like about like 3 or 4 characters in that show, but for such a small cast, like it didn't. I felt like it was actually much better than like some of those like huge casts like brought or not like Wicked, where like there's just like so many people.
Yeah.
Like it was just you had enough time to spend with each character, and like I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
Like I think maybe Happy Ending is a really good musical. It's pretty high up on my list. It's not my absolute favorite. I don't so like the way my list works, I don't rank them off of like if I think this musical was better. I rank it off of purely just my own enjoyment. Because like so someone might not like my list because some things that might be I don't know, a better musical might be lower on my list. But like for me right now, I have 2 musicals that I rank as number one because I have still yet to decide which one is like the true number one.
Mm-hmm.
I have Beetlejuice and Death Becomes Her, both as number one on my list.
Yeah, those are both
Which
really good picks.
I feel like they're both kind of similar in a way. They're both
Mhm.
based off of movies, both I guess centered around death, both really funny and just like I don't know. I guess like both of what they had were just what I really like in a musical.
Yeah.
So those are my top two.
And they're both very campy and they're
Mhm.
comedy,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Um
But funny enough, I have not actually seen the movie Beetlejuice or Death Becomes Her. I've only seen the musicals.
Well, luckily
honestly,
though, Beetlejuice is very different. So Beetlejuice is like its own thing. For the musical theater one is completely different from the movie. So you're really
yeah.
not missing much unless you want something very different. So
Both of those movies are totally worth watching.
mhm.
Death Becomes Her, the casting of that movie is just stellar all the way around. So many star actors. I would say same with Beetlejuice. They're both really fun. It makes sense that the musicals are fun too. I also have two fighting for first place. My all-time favorite musical right now is Book of Mormon.
Mhm.
The writing of that musical is just unbelievably genius. And yeah, I like a social commentary. I just do. The other one that I really enjoy is Shrek the Musical. That one has a lot of like, hey, are you also a misfit in society? It's cool. Own your shit. So there's a lot of that in that, but there's also just a lot of fucking hilarious moments. One thing that I did not realize until finally watching Wicked for the first time last year, and when I say the first time, I mean Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo in the first Wicked movie that came out. I didn't realize Shrek the Musical made references to Wicked until recently, so I thought that was a cool touch. I also really like Wicked. I still haven't seen the second one with Ariana and Cynthia, but I do want to see that at some point because that movie production is just incredible. I would have loved to have seen it in like a stage, obviously, but the movies are pretty good too.
Have you? So you've never seen Wicked on stage?
I've never seen it live. Yeah,
So like we saw it live in New York City. I enjoyed it. I was, I guess, somewhat disappointed because I thought I was going to get more out of it than I got like from watching the movie because I saw the movies first. But it's essentially the same. They didn't
yeah,
really change much of anything. So I feel like the movie is, I guess, good for those who can't go jet setting off to New York and see a musical on Broadway.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, like I think too, like that's kind of how I felt too. And also I think it's because like the new Wicked movies are a lot more like modern, like the music's not necessarily updated, but like they've added a lot more. And then watching the stage play, like it's a bit aged, I guess. But too, we were watching a lot of newer shows when we went to New York, so like going to see Wicked, and it's an older show, and then it's just like, whoa, like I don't know.
One thing that's also like, I guess, cool about musicals is you can see different renditions of like the same thing because like actors
Mhm.
and actresses will put their own spin on it. Because like when we saw Wicked, I actually didn't like the Alphaba we saw as much as like Cynthia Erivo in
yeah,
the movies.
yeah,
But like that's like a
Oh,
cool thing though about musicals is you can see multiple people's like take on a character.
yeah. 100%. Because I've actually seen Book of Mormon 3 times now. No, maybe just twice. And they weren't the same flavor. It's the same story, but the flavors are different. So that's absolutely true.
I mean, I think that's also probably why part of the reason why I was like somewhat disappointed when I saw the stage play is because I didn't like that Alphaba as much, but I still overall I really like Wicked the musical.
100%.
I I'm surprised that you didn't like the actress for Alphaba. Like I thought that she did a great job. I actually prefer her than Cynthia's.
For
But like
me,
it felt hmm,
she was too, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, like
it's just,
abrasive.
yeah, well that's also like just because like the movie adds so much more hours and so much other stuff to it. So like Alphaba it felt like I mean, she's got the same stuff, but that's feels like a different Alphaba than like from the actual musical theater. Like she's, you know, you could
Like I feel
tell
like
that she's been. Oh God.
I feel like in the movie she's like I don't know, more a little bit more like cool and collective, which I guess for my own personal enjoyment I prefer.
Yeah. Well, like I can see with like her from being like in the show, like on the stage play, like she's been, bullied, made fun of, like she's been outcast. So like her being a little abrasive, like it makes sense for her growing up like that for many years and then having, her dad, being like an asshole to her. Like, it makes sense. I mean, it both movie having like a movie musical theater translate completely different from like on stage. Like it's very different. And instead of like a pro shot where it's just like, you know, record like things in movies have to be at least a little bit like for the more not modern audience, but like the majority of audiences. So like and also things don't translate well from like if you're using your imagination. So like that's why they use like bad things or like they put like new scenes or take away scenes. Like they're just a bit different, I think. They're like two completely different entities that would sharing the same like name, like story beats, but that's kind of how I feel at least. Have you seen a movie that or like a musical that was like made into like a movie and then seen like a slime video of like a musical? Like, have you seen one, Dune, where like you're like you can
Where the movie
feel
is
the
worse than
difference, or
the musical kind of a thing, or
yeah, where like they had like a musical or something, and then or like I guess like even like books or something, like it had like it wasn't a movie before, and then like having musical probably because it makes sense with our topic, but something that was originally like a stage show, and then they had like a movie version of it, or if even if it's not, like, do you feel like those are usually feel like different, or
so one I
I don't
could
know if you
think
have
of is Shrek.
that.
Because it was a movie, and then of course they made a musical off of that. I think
Hmm.
Shrek is really technically a musical anyway. It just started animated. Um,
Hmm.
no, I might be making shit up. They didn't really have musical numbers.
Somebody once.
Yeah, so they did have Smash
No,
Mouth. um, so like that movie in particular to me is magical because to me Shrek is such a specifically effective property at the time that DreamWorks released it because it was all new
hmm
animation, it was all new storytelling. It was let's take a fairy tale and bastardize it and make it funny and modern and whatever, right? And I think they did that so powerfully with the animation tech that was available at the time. And it
hmm
to me that's a movie that really set a standard in the animation industry. Um, that same magic to capture it exactly the same way is probably not possible in the space of a theater or a stage. But what they did do was they capitalized on other things that stage can do really well, especially musical numbers. And so the musical to me has its own magic. It's not one to one. I wouldn't call them the exact same story, even though they are. Um, but I don't think the musical was trying to be the movie. I think it was just taking the story and really adapting it to a stage, and I think they did well with that. I can't think of an example where that really failed. Um, can you guys think of any? Like one is the musical, and then the other one is a book or a movie or something, and where like it didn't work really well.
Wait, did it work as a musical or did it work as a movie?
Whichever direction.
Because, like we just saw Les Mis, and that was made into a movie in 2012, I think. I had seen
Yeah.
the movie first, and then saw like this week was the first time I saw it ever on stage. Um, I know that the movie gets like a lot of hate,
Yeah.
like for not being very good. From watching the movie first and then seeing the stage. Now, granted, I was a lot younger when I watched the movie. I didn't think the movie was bad. Um, I also am not like the biggest, I guess, singer critique because I feel like that is one of the big critiques is they're not as good singers in the movie.
Yeah.
So like it's also been like a long time since I've seen it, so I couldn't really say like, oh yeah, these singers on the stage were so much better than they were in the movie.
Right.
Granted, a lot of times for movies, like Les Mis and then also Phantom of the Opera is also a movie. Um, they get actors that aren't necessarily singers, so like that's
Right.
kind of the downfall. Like with Wicked, they had Ariana Grande, who like is a singer,
Yeah.
and then Cynthia Erivo, who I think sounded really great. I'd never heard of her before actually seeing the movie.
Right.
So they didn't. I feel like Wicked is probably one of the better like where they took a musical and then made a movie version of it because they didn't fall into the trap of let's get like these big name actors that don't know how to sing.
Yeah, they cast really well because Ariana and Cynthia, like you said, they can sing, but they can also definitely act.
With musicals, like the singing is such a huge component of it. Like you do want to have good singers, not just actors.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also like with like you can be really good at singing, but like I feel like musical theater singing is very different from like studio recording and like pop star singing because
Yes.
like you do have to have like you feel the emotional like emotions from like musical theater singing. Like there's it's a different technique than like, someone singing the YMCA. Like, you know, it's just I don't know. I feel like it's a bit different. It's a different talent and it's different training that some people do not have that talent or not they have not been trained for it and then they're just, you know, they just kind of let go. But I think that they did pretty good with like casting those two. I know
Yeah.
Ariana did do like musicals before at some point. I'm not really sure about Cynthia, but you know, they both did pretty good with being able to like portray like their emotions. Like you could feel what they were feeling when they were singing these songs. So like
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think you're spot on. I think they picked the right people with the right training, and with those two in particular, like Ariana still has an entire fucking pop career, you know what I mean? But she's also
Hmm.
been on SNL and she's done live shows at um it's probably the Tonys is what I'm thinking of. Because they'll have artists come in and do performances for those.
Yeah.
So, they and Cynthia, I believe, without having done a pop career, has comparable experience. So, like, they both know how to sing on a stage, and even in the context of being on a set for a film production, a lot of that can translate, especially because, of course, they're trying to create a musical, but it's on film.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think I read that for Wicked they did live singing for the like when they would film.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can
So
tell.
like that makes it a little bit more like a musical rather than just like recording and slapping it over.
Yes. You
Hmm.
you can still tell in the final cut of the movie that obviously there was some audio mixing and mastering that went on so they could get everything to blend properly, but you can also tell it's not been like filtered or really truly manipulated the same way that you would do for a pop song. So it really
Hmm.
feels like it is live singing in the final film,
Hmm.
which is awesome.
Yeah, I think it's funny. We were watching, I think it was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which is an older musical,
I
and
love
like
that
you could
musical.
like you could like clearly tell that like these people are not actually singing when it's like they're supposed to be singing because
Yeah.
they're not
Yeah.
like putting that like you can just tell like when someone's putting like the effort they're like really singing like I'm like no these people are not singing they're just moving their mouth and they like slap the audio over it.
Yeah.
Well, too, like they're probably doing like repeating the scene over and over and over again. That could have been like scene 15. They've been doing it for like 2, 3 hours. Like you
Yeah.
kind of lose your oomph for it.
Yeah.
But like
Which,
I feel like that's one thing that's like very impressive with like Broadway actors is they have to do this show for like 2.5 hours all live all in one go.
yeah.
Hmm.
So not only memorization of songs, dancing, dialogue, stage placement, actual physical action, whatever. It's not just memorization. It's also just the physical endurance of it all.
Hmm.
It's so that is a sport. I don't care what people say. That feels like a sport.
Yeah, I feel like some of those people, the way they be hopping around on the stage, I'm like, man, I'd be so exhausted. Although I feel like a lot of times I look at these actors and actresses and I'm like, wow, they're in better shape than I am.
Well, they have to be. The only experience that I have that comes anywhere close to that level of work is like marching band.
Hmm.
And that's
See, I
a
played
lot
It's a
less work.
discipline.
It is totally.
the only thing I ever did is I played football when I was 14, but I hated that.
So that was like 5 years ago.
That was a long time ago.
5 years
I'm
is a
an
long time.
otter. Otter.
Yeah, you're the oldest otter. It turns out.
You are.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Pug. Thank you, Dar. There's so much to talk about in the world of musical theater, and I feel like even though it's been a minute, we only scratched the surface. So this might be one we have to do a sequel on. But I really appreciate both of you contributing your expertise in the world of musical theater. You both are amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for being here. Well, that's it from us regarding musical theater. What is your favorite musical? Favorite actors, actresses, musical numbers? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell. We'll let you know when another episode is coming out. But that's it. Thanks for tuning into PawsCast. We will see you in the very next episode. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.